A lot of people are afraid to have conversations nowadays. And you know what? It's these phones. It's these phones that's the problem, because everybody just want to peck on the phone. Nobody wants to really honor human interaction no more, which is why these rules seem so simple, but yet a whole bunch of folks don't even apply them to their lives, which is why they're so awkward when it comes time to meet new people. You can't go out in public and you can't hold a conversation. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Mindful Vibes 365 podcast, where we have productive and stimulating conversations about how to be more mindful in all the areas of your life. I'm your host, Malaysia, and today's episode is for anybody who wants to get in any room, make lasting impressions, and just be able to effortlessly connect with other people. And you just may not know how to do that, okay? Because let's be honest, a lot of people really do struggle with interacting with others, okay? Not necessarily because they're awkward or because they're boring, but simply because nobody has ever taught them the proper etiquette to interacting with other people. I really wanted to talk about this and address this because I know in 2026, a lot of y'all plan on getting in some new rooms. You plan on meeting new people. You plan on making some new connections. Okay, cool, right? So today I'm going to give you 6 rules of etiquette that changed my life. And some of these came from one of my favorite books of all time, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. If you haven't read the book, make sure you read the book. Y'all know I'm always giving you a nice, good, juicy book to read. But you guys, these rules of etiquette are going to change your life. The 6 rules of etiquette that I'm going to give y'all today, y'all, I do this everywhere I go. The gym, the grocery store, when I'm going shopping, work events, right? Bars, when I'm out, solo, dolo, flying by myself. It does not matter where I am. I can comfortably go anywhere. I can comfortably make connections with strangers. I have the ability to just connect with different people. And on top of that, I know how to have someone actually engaged in the conversation. So I'm just going to give y'all some game today because I understand, like I said, this is something that some people struggle with. And I did do an episode before, I believe, that talked about how to become a more outgoing person, and that, you know, deals with like your appearance and how you dress and things of that nature. But these rules that I'm giving y'all today has all to do with the things that you do towards other people. Okay. Yes, you need to work on yourself. Yes, you have things that you can fix within yourself to make you a more comfortable person, so it doesn't feel so awkward when you're out in public trying to mix and mingle with different people. But today, we talking about what you need to do when it comes to interacting and meeting new people. I can go ahead and promise you, once you master these principles and 6 rules of etiquette, you will become magnetic. People are going to love talking to you. You are going to make a lot of different connections. You might start getting some free stuff. You might start getting some deals, some discounts, right? I'm not saying that you should do these things to get those things. I'm just saying the things that happen when you become a magnetic person, when you become a great conversationalist. So let's get into it. All right. Number 1, which is very, very important. I know that a lot of people struggle with this, and you probably have heard this one before. Maybe not. I don't know. But rule number 1, I need you to make eye contact with people. Okay. And give people your full attention. This sounds kind of cliche, like, duh, that's so basic. Of course I know that. Of course I'm going to make eye contact when I'm talking to people. A lot of y'all don't do that. So let's not act like it's just something that's oh so common that people do. Like, you're probably thinking, duh. But no, a lot of people do not make eye contact, y'all. And you have to understand that when you don't make eye contact, it signals low confidence, insecurity, you're distracted, or you are just simply not interested in what the other person is saying. And you don't want to come off like that when you're meeting new people and interacting with new people, right? You don't want to seem bored. You don't want to seem uninterested. And you don't want to show that you're insecure, okay? You don't want to show that your confidence is low, because people who are confident can look you in your eyes when they talking to you, okay? When you look at people in their eyes, whether you are the one listening or whether you're the one speaking, you are communicating your presence, okay? You are communicating your respect, okay? So here is the cheat code to making eye contact. Of course, you're not just going to sit and stare at somebody like this and just give them a blank expression. Like, no, eye contact plus head nods. A person is speaking to you, you're looking at them, right? You're watching them talk and you're nodding your head at certain points in the conversation, showing like, I'm engaged. I am in agreement with what you're saying. I'm processing what you're saying, okay? And another thing to add on to this point as well, obviously, don't be on your phone. When you're talking to people and you're trying to get a point across, put your phone down and communicate what you have to say, okay? When a person is speaking to you, put your phone down and listen to them. Don't be on your phone trying to, talking. Right. A person is going to think that you don't give a damn about what they're talking about. And you don't want to come off like that, because at that point, they're not going to want to talk to you anymore. And that's just rude. Okay. So I want you guys to start doing this today. Start making eye contact. When a person is speaking to you, look them in their eyes. You don't have a reason to be afraid of, like, direct eye contact is something that is really scary for a lot of people. I never really understood this until like I started going to a whole bunch of different networking events and bars by myself, and just like people really shy away from like looking at somebody. It's always like talking and then they're looking everywhere else. Like, y'all, it's really nothing to be afraid of. Like, just make eye contact, okay? So starting today, like I said, I want you to start making eye contact when you are speaking to somebody else and when somebody is speaking to you as well, okay? You want somebody to be present and listen to you and actually engage with what you're talking about when you're talking to them, okay? So give them that same respect and do that as well. All right. Moving into rule number 2. This is actually one of my absolute favorite ones. You need to prioritize remembering people's names. Now, I know you're probably like, Malaysia, it's very hard for me to remember somebody's name. Like, somebody can tell me their name and I'm going to forget in the next 10 seconds. I too used to be that way. However, this tip from Dale Carnegie in How to Win Friends and Influence People is a bar. Like, it works like magic. There is an easy trick that I'm getting ready to give you to be able to remember anybody's name, okay, when you meet them. People love hearing their own name. So when you're interacting with somebody and you're referring to them by name and you're bringing up their name, and, you know, when y'all get ready to depart from each other, you say their name. People love that. It means that you're listening. Number one, it means that you're actually listening to them and you value the conversation. It's so personal and it's affirming and it makes people feel seen. And that's what you want. So here is the trick that I use. Okay. I got this from the book. When someone tells you their name, y'all, you are immediately going to link it with something about them. Okay. So for an example, Brianna with the pretty lashes. You're at a restaurant, your server comes over and she's like, "Hi, my name is Brianna. I'm going to be taking care of you guys today. This is what you're going to do." "Oh, hi, Brianna. How are you today?" In your head, boom, I see that Brianna has on lashes. This just happened to me, y'all. Brianna was a server at a restaurant I was at a couple weeks ago. But yes, her name was Brianna and she had nice, pretty little lashes. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, your lashes are so pretty." So in my head, I'm like, okay, Brianna with the pretty lashes. So therefore, I already addressed her by name. "Hello, Brianna. How are you today?" Boom. "You're going to be taking care of us today?" Okay, great. In my head, Brianna with the pretty lashes. So every time she came back to the table, "Thank you, Brianna. Thank you so much, Brianna." And then when we got ready to leave, "Thank you so much, Brianna, for taking care of us." This girl's name has been stuck in my head. And just because that was a couple weeks ago, it doesn't matter. I can remember names from servers and bartenders and so many different people that I have met months ago, years ago, because you always take a person's name and you link it with a characteristic about them. Person might have short hair, long hair, red hair. It doesn't even have to be a physical characteristic, but it can just be something that you learn about them or something you notice about them during your interaction with them. Okay, it's super duper simple. Like when I tell y'all this is a hack, this is a hack. Okay, a person's name will stick every single time. Marcus. Oh, Marcus with the deep voice. Okay, Marcus with the deep voice. You're not going to forget that. Tiffany with the red braids. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tiffany with the red braids. Right, exactly. Okay, and this is very important, especially when you walk into a place often, like the bar, a gym, a coffee shop, somewhere that you go frequently, and you start calling employees by their names. Y'all, you are instantly going to become memorable. Do you know how much I get get taken care of when I go to different places simply because I have built up the connection, because I have made it a habit and I have made it something that's important to me to remember someone's name. Like, you walk into a place and they're just used to people just coming in, how you doing, whatever. But you walk in and you're like, oh my gosh, hey Brandon, how are you today? That is going to make a person's day. And by default, y'all, you end up getting free stuff. You end up getting connections. You might get into some spots for free drinks, free food. Like, the list can honestly go on. And of course, you're not doing it for those reasons, but I'm just telling you what comes with it. Okay. I'm just telling you what's going to come with it. Stuff like this honestly happens to me all the time, especially when I'm by myself. And you're probably like, why would people want to do that just because you remember their name? Because most people don't care. Most people don't care to remember that bartender. Even though they go to this bar every single week, you know, they're not prioritizing memorizing someone's name. They're just so focused on, I'm going to this bar to get me a drink, right? But you go to this same place and frequent these same spots all the time. Why are you not learning people's names? That's proper etiquette, okay? Most people don't even try to remember names. So this one rule is going to instantly elevate you socially, and people are going to start to look at you in a completely different light. You know why? Because you actually care, okay? And people are not used to other people caring. Once people realize you actually give a damn for real, yeah, okay, they are going to think of you in a different light. All right, so make sure you remember people's names, you guys, and use that little trick that I just taught you and see how you start remembering a whole bunch of people's names. It's gonna get you very, very far. Okay, rule number 3, listen more than you speak. This one is extremely important. Honestly, all of them are so important. I know when I be giving y'all different tips and rules and tricks, I be like, oh, this one is so important. Y'all, they all be important. What can I say? Game is game, okay? Well, no, for real, y'all. Rule number 3, listen more than you speak. Some of y'all's issue is very simple. You talk too freaking much, okay? You want to tell your whole life story. It's all about you. Me, 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 me. I, okay? But when somebody only talks about themselves, what you're not realizing is it signals self-centeredness, lack of curiosity for others and what other people have going on, and emotional immaturity. The best conversationalists talk less and listen more. You learn a lot more when you just shut up and listen. You learn a lot more. You learn a lot more about people. You learn a lot more about the rooms that you in. You learn a lot more by just listening, okay? Don't be so eager to talk so much. Close your mouth, all right? So here's the mindset shift. You are just going to listen a lot more than you do. But not only are you going to listen, I need you to listen to understand, not to respond, okay? Because some of y'all might get this mixed up. You might say, okay, like, I can stop talking during the conversation. No, I don't want you to just do that. I want you to listen to understand and not just listen to respond. And this is something that applies everywhere, right? But when you're meeting people and you're mixing and mingling with new people, listen to actually understand. Don't just be listening to somebody because you're waiting to give a response, because you're waiting to say what you have to say. Actually listen and process what this person is saying to you. Like, when you genuinely pay attention, you'll naturally start to make deeper connections, leave people feeling important, and let them know, like, this person is really listening to me. They're really paying attention. And most importantly, people are always going to remember how you made them feel. If you make a person feel like, damn, I was having a conversation with someone and all they did was talk about themselves. They had a response so quick before I even could finish what I was saying, right? You don't want to be that person, okay? That's not the type of person that you want to be. Listen to understand. Don't listen to just respond. When you listen to understand, you actually remember details of what a person is telling you. You actually remember the most important parts of what someone is telling you. So when you do respond, it's not like, oh, because I wasn't listening intently, I really didn't hear what you said for real. And now they're like having to correct you, like, no, I didn't say that. No, I went here. You know, somebody can tell you something, and when you're not really listening for real and you get ready to respond, and then you're like, oh yeah, but you said this, right? And they're like, no, I didn't say that. That's not what I said. And you know why? Because you wasn't listening. Because you were listening to just respond. You waiting on them to just stop talking. You're waiting on their mouth to stop moving, but you're not listening to actually understand what they're saying. So, like I said, said, make sure you listen more than you speak. This comes directly from How to Win Friends and Influence People, y'all. Make sure you read that book by Dale Carnegie. But it talks about that. Listen more than you speak. Listen more than you speak. Listen more than you speak. You can start practicing that and doing that today. Okay, and this rule actually brings me straight into rule number 4. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into the conversation. This episode is actually sponsored by my brand, Mindful Vibes 365. If you or anyone you know are currently experiencing feelings of frustration, anxiety, depression, overstimulation, mental burnout, and just overall disconnection from God, I can guarantee you that it's time for you to reprogram your mind and vibe. And the quickest, most easiest way for you to do this is actually by fasting and detoxing from secular music. Now, as someone that did this for an entire year, I can honestly say it changed my life completely. I underwent a transformation in all areas of my life once I cut out secular music. Now, do you have to do this for an entire year? No, the transformation started weeks into my year-long fast, which is exactly why 90 days is the sweet spot. So, luckily for you guys, I created a 90-day guided workbook that's actually going to help you successfully overcome your anxiety, depression, overstimulation, mental burnout, and disconnection from God, because it's going to require you to complete a series of activities that are going to stimulate your mind and vibe every single day. This workbook is not only going to allow you to journal what's on your mind and what's your vibe for the next 90 days, it's going to help you stay on track with consuming the required productive and stimulating things that you're going to be listening to every single day. You're going to have access to recommended hand-picked sermons, audiobooks, podcasts, personal development teachings, Bible readings, gospel songs, and so much more, which are all the things that you're going to be required to listen to for the next 90 days, every single day around the clock. I can honestly go ahead and congratulate you in advance on the new person you're getting ready to become once completing this workbook, because replacing secular music with more spiritual, stimulating, productive, motivating, and uplifting tunes is going to completely change your life. So make sure you go ahead and click the link below to get a copy of your 90-day guided workbook today. I cannot wait to hear more about your transformation and the new person that you become once you complete this 90-day workbook. So congratulations again in advance. Make sure you get a copy of yours today. Click the link below. Now let's get back to the conversation. Always ask questions. And on top of that, I need you to make sure you ask good questions, okay? Always asking questions is the difference between a shallow conversation and a meaningful conversation. If somebody says, oh yeah, I bartend here, I work at this bar just while I'm in school, just to pay some bills, student loans, woo, woo, woo. Don't just respond and be like, oh, okay, cool. No, take the conversation layers deep. Like, oh, wow. Okay, what are you studying? Where do you go to school? What's the end goal for you? Like, what are you trying to become? Layer your questions. This is how you have a real conversation with somebody. It's not just, oh, okay, cool, you're in school. Okay, like, you want to have a real conversation with somebody or not? Because that's not going to cut it. No, ask questions related to the things that people are telling you. And the only way that you would be able to do that is if you're what? Listening to understand, right? You're actually listening to what a person is telling you, because you're listening more than you speak. These are things that you need to do when you are meeting new people, when you are going to events, when you are coming in contact with the same folks you see every single day at the gym, your neighbors. I have never understood how you can frequent a place and go there very often and see the same people and don't wave. You don't get their name. You don't speak to them. You don't know anything about them. That's so weird. Like when people say they go to the gym and they're like, I don't talk to nobody at my gym. First of all, the folks at my gym, we all cool. Okay, we are all cool. And it's like that comes from just having conversations with people. A lot of people are afraid to have conversations nowadays. And you know what? It's these phones. It's these phones that's the problem, because everybody just want to peck on the phone. Nobody wants to really honor human interaction no more, which is why these rules seem so simple, but yet a whole bunch of folks don't even apply them to their lives, which is why they're so awkward when it comes time to meet new people. You can't go out in public and you can't hold a conversation. Honestly, you're too grown not to know how to hold good conversations with people. I'm going to just be honest. If you can't hold a good conversation with somebody, I got some news for you. That's very childish. That's very childish and very immature. Okay. So when you're asking questions, you are showing genuine interest into what somebody is talking about, into someone else's life. Okay. Remember, I said these are the 6 rules of etiquette when you are meeting and interacting with new people, or people you know, obviously like haven't had deep conversations with before. So, you know, if you're meeting somebody for the first time, like what type of impression do you want to leave? Do you just want it to just be like, oh yeah, I just had a meaningless conversation with this stranger today? Or like, oh my gosh, I actually met this person today and she was so nice, and wow, you know, we stood there and talked for like 10 minutes. It was so cool. Okay. You don't know, that could make somebody's day, y'all. And it's just like, we got to get back. We got to get back to our roots. We got to get back to talking to people and interacting with people, and just simply like meeting strangers. Like, this is how you make friends. This is how you make business connections. This is how you get referred for jobs and position openings. Like, all of these things are byproducts of just being able to have good etiquette when you're meeting new people. Just remember, a conversation with no questions being asked is just 2 people talking at each other, because you cannot have a conversation without going back and forth, and going back and forth comes from asking questions. So the next time you talk to somebody, aim to ask at least 2 follow-up questions. Okay, just 2. Depending on how the conversation flowing and what y'all talking about, ask more. But at least aim to ask 2 questions. And I promise you, the whole vibe will change when you ask a person questions about something that they're telling you. They're gonna be like, oh, wow. And How to Win Friends and Influence People, the book talks about how people love to talk about themselves. So even if you ask them a simple question that's related to something that they told you, that makes something like spark in their brain. And they're like, oh my gosh, I have another opportunity to keep talking about myself. This is how humans are wired. Okay, so you have to play into that. All right, moving into rule number 5, you guys. This is not necessarily etiquette, but I wanted to throw this in here because I find that when you do this, it makes the conversation flow a lot smoother. It makes the conversation start a lot easier, and it's just like a little icebreaker. Okay, give genuine compliments. Compliments are the cheat code. I'm telling you every single time. The easiest way to start a conversation or spark up a conversation, give a compliment. Okay, this works for breaking the ice. Give a compliment to a person, and it doesn't even have to be deep. It doesn't have to be something that like, oh wow, you're lying. No, give a genuine compliment. Don't just say any old thing to where a person would feel like you're lying. No. If you're around somebody, or you are at a bar and your bartender has on a very nice perfume scent, guess what you should be saying? Wow, your perfume smells so amazing. Or give people compliments on their energy. Y'all don't understand how many times I get complimented on my good energy. Good energy will take you very far. But y'all, give people compliments on their energy. Wow, I love your energy. You're so positive. I really enjoyed like speaking with you. Perfect compliment. Your hair looks so pretty today. If you see somebody that has nice hair, or you know, you're a man and you see another man that's dressed nicely and they got a fit together, they got that shit on for real, compliment that. Like, hey bro, you know what I'm saying? Nice suit, or whatever y'all be saying. Don't be afraid to compliment people and make it genuine. That color looks really nice on you. Anything, like pick something out about somebody that you actually really do notice and that you actually really do like, and give them a genuine compliment. People can tell when you're giving them a genuine compliment versus just talking. You just chatting. You just wanted to say something. No, people can genuinely tell when you are giving them a genuine compliment. Okay. At the end of the day, compliments soften the vibe. They open the door to conversation. They make other people feel good, and they associate that good feeling with you. Ultimately, that's what you want. That is what you want if you want to start making meaningful, long-lasting connections. That is what you want if you want to make good impressions. Okay. You want people to associate that good feeling that they got from this conversation or from that compliment that you gave them with you. Like, yes, I remember her because I remember her telling me that my perfume smells so good, and this is my favorite perfume that I bought, and I had never got another compliment on this before until this person came along and gave me a compliment on it. Like, wow, I'm gonna always remember that. Exactly. Make sure they're genuine, because people can always sense when they're fake. So you guys, give genuine compliments. Okay, now moving into rule number 6, which is the absolute last one, you guys. Thank people for their time. This is actually one of them ones. This is one of my favorite ones for real, because this is just like one of my favorite little habits, my favorite little trick that I like to pull out of my hat. Always thank people for their time, because at the end of the day, people don't have to sit and talk to you, right? Like, people don't have to sit and talk to you when people are trying to mix and mingle with you at the store and have a conversation, and you're trying to hold a conversation with them. They really can just mind their business and go on, okay? So whenever I finish a conversation, whether it's with a stranger, it's somebody in customer service, somebody at my job for work, it doesn't matter what it is. Even somebody responding to something on Instagram, or they're DMing me about something that I posted, or we're just going back and forth having a conversation about something they posted. I don't care. I always end with, thank you so much for chatting with me. Wow, thank you for chatting with me today. All right, I appreciate you for chatting with me today. Okay, I really enjoyed talking to you. Time is so valuable. People don't have to talk to your ass. I'm telling you, people don't have to talk to you. So when you thank someone, you are really showing them respect. You're showing them maturity. You're showing them gratitude for the fact that they even took their time out to talk to you. That is what you want. And it leaves a long-lasting impression, y'all. I promise. Especially with jobs. Jobs, like I said, meeting new people. I think most people do this. I would hope that y'all doing this when it comes to jobs and professional settings. But when you meet people in power that could potentially put you on, or you doing interviews, I don't care if you go through 5 rounds of interviews. Guess what you need to be doing? You email every single person you talk to. Every single time. It's non-negotiable. Actually, whenever you are chatting with somebody and you are having an interview, and after you get done with that, of course you're going to thank them over the phone or on the video interview or whatever. But after that, you're going to ask the recruiter, hey, can I have Tiffany's email, because I want to send her a thank you note. Y'all, this will put you ahead of 90% of people, because some people don't even follow up. Some people don't even send a follow-up email. They just like, oh, I'm not going to do that. All right, okay, don't do it then. But just know your competition is sending follow-up emails. If I'm your competition, I'm sending follow-up emails, and I'm willing to bet that they're going to admire that charm, okay? More than they're going to admire and pay attention to your resume, right? They're going to be thinking, what stands out about this candidate? Wow, she sent me a thank you email, short, sweet, to the point, just thanking me for my time. Yeah, that'll take you very, very far. Thank people for their time, y'all. Time is not infinite or unlimited, so you should be always thanking somebody for their time, okay? This is how you become unforgettable. People will never forget that. People will always remember your face. They'll always remember your energy, and they will just simply appreciate you on a much higher level than they do other folks. All right. So at the end of the day, y'all, etiquette is not about being perfect. I am not teaching you how to be a perfect suck up. No, I'm teaching you how to strategically interact with people. I'm teaching you how to be intentional with your conversations, right? You want to start getting in the rooms. You want to be a millionaire. You want to be super successful. You're going to have to apply these rules of etiquette. It's going to be in your best interest to do so. And you're going to realize that applying these rules will get you very far with a lot of people, with a lot of important people, with a lot of people that got a lot of pull, a lot of staying in the streets. They face card real good, right? And now that's just going to bump you up a little bit more, okay? It's about showing people respect. Applying these rules show that you're confident. You got to have confidence. Confidence is key, okay? It's about learning how to communicate so you can open doors, build relationships, and walk into any space with ease. In 2026, I need y'all to act like you belong in the room. Stop acting so shy and timid and scared. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous, I'm scared, and blah, blah, blah. Cut all that out, okay? Master these 6 rules and watch how your interactions with other people transform. People will gravitate towards you. You'll network better. You'll make better friendships. You'll feel more confident in any environment. All of that stuff, y'all. So if you guys watched this episode to the very end, thank you so much. I hope that you guys took some valuable valuable tips away from this episode, and I hope that you are going to apply these rules of etiquette to your life when it comes to meeting and interacting with new people, and also just interacting with people that you already know as well. Okay, just strive to become a better conversationalist. Thank you so much for tuning into this conversation. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share this with somebody else who could benefit from this conversation as well. And I look forward to continuing to build my tribe and all the new things that are going to come with this podcast as well. I promise I am going to keep the game coming for y'all. I'm going to keep the gems coming for y'all and talking about the things that actually matter. So, like I said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. I have so many amazing things coming in 2026 for this podcast. So make sure you guys stay tuned. And I look forward to seeing you all on the next episode. Bye.